Welcome back. I hope you are doing great. I am Behrouz Bigham, and we are returning with a new session of the Lumion Graph Package. In previous sessions, we discussed the introductory and initial topics of animation and the move section. For the rest of the sessions, we decided to work on this project together. The scene you are looking at was designed and modeled by Ms. Safiari, and we intend to use it as our educational reference for this work. You can see how well she managed to execute the modeling and design operations with excellent quality and high detail. Just one point. The scene we received originally had shrubs and grass in these areas, or they had covered these sections with grass. If we review the original renders, this is visible. I removed these elements because they made the work very heavy, and we don't need them. As we mentioned before, you don't need to import trees, grass, or any foliage from Max into Lumion. I simply deleted them. And instead, I separated these sections and assigned the scanline standard material to them. The initial scene was created using V-Ray. I first covered it using the V-Ray mix exporter, converting to Max standard materials. Before that, we performed all the steps using our usual technique of converting physical materials to legacy materials. Some converted correctly, some ran into problems, and we manually edited those. Look, I manually selected all of these now. Some of them had normal issues. We applied the normal modifier to them. If it appeared this way, black dark, it meant you hadn't scaled or assigned the material correctly, and it had an issue with the direction of the vectors. Regarding that issue, I will delete this and assign an edit mesh modifier. We have an option here called Show Normal. If I activate this option, you can see it. For example, a few of these have too many segments, making selection difficult, but we can select them using Grow. Edit Mesh is nearly identical to Edit Poly, except that some features are shared and some are missing. Right now, I can only select through this method. I set the selection tool to Sphere. Look at these. Their normal direction is upwards. If I activate the normal flip, you see it went downwards. What is the result? It causes the object to appear black like this. So the solution is just that. I delete it. Just remember that once your work is done, you must use the Collapse All option from this section, so it becomes a single object. We solved all issues this way. Even the material for this object remained, but that's not a problem. We can copy it there. Or for instance, there's another pillow that needs fixing. I left these issues so you can see what problems you run into in Lumion if you don't perform these fixes in material assignments. I specifically included this model so you can clearly see the material. The entire scene now uses the scanline material. Folks, even some of them had diffuse maps because we used the V-Ray mix exporter, and all of them, those with textures, gained a diffuse map. But since we didn't need it, I deleted their diffuse maps and only assigned a separate scanline material, W named 14, 15, 16, and a distinct color, so we can separate them there. The scene is perfectly clean now. I even deleted a generator jack that was here, as Lumion has its own necessary decorative items internally. One more point, the yellow box you see selected is a plan we want to assign a water material to as per the request of the client, the engineer. We want these pots and stones to appear as if they are underwater. It's not difficult. We draw a regular plane and place it exactly where we want. If it's slightly too high or low, we can move it within Lumion, so we don't have this kind of problem either. Look, I detached all of these and assigned one material, so I can give them, say, a dirt material, or perform sculpting operations on them. The scene we received was full of grass here, or they had placed trees here to show the design concept. When I imported that, it became too heavy, so it was practically impossible to import. Therefore, I deleted all of them, and now it is enough to easily transfer this scene into Lumion and begin our work. Guys, you just need to select this. First, check that it's near the coordinate origin. Look, if I look from the top, I place it exactly on 0, 0 like this. Ctrl+I invert selection and delete. meaning any extra objects in the scene should be deleted. I select it again, zoom close to it, zoom extents, and now I go through File, Export, Export, Selected. I already saved this once, a 283 megabytes FBX Final C file. A light scene exports very quickly as an FBX file. See how efficient this is. I even think loading it into Lumion will be easy. I just performed this once, and since we deleted one or two things, I will do it again. I go to the Create New section and open a new scene from here. Our favorite scene because these mountains prevent us from seeing empty lines in the reflections of the glass. We can change anything here if we want. It's fine. So I frequently use this scene for the base. I name it Import Model Final C under the Lumion Graph category. Alright, our scene is loaded. See how light and easy it is to work with. I click and then I go to the selection option. Following the same routine, we lift it up slightly. You usually need to do this. I think everything is okay. See, now it is completely separable. Only one door remains here, which we decided to import separately. Excellent. After the scene is loaded, let me check the top. Ah, everything is good. This part automatically adopted a wood material, likely because its name was wood. That's the point I made. I remember assigning a scanline color to it, and they are all separated. Fantastic. Let's do one thing. If I want to work on the material of these pillows now, we'll run into issues. Let me edit the pillows too. Let's detach them. Yes. Let me go back into Max one more time. This is also good practice for editing our model. I return to my scene. I'll need to re-export and update the whole thing later, because if I export just one part, the entire scene will be cleared. Just let me check this one and show it to you. The pillow to which we didn't assign a scanline material or fix the normal map, look how it is. It's awful and practically unusable. So we must be careful to edit them if they have problems. I select it and assign the material. I delete the unnecessary parts. Look, I want this one, and we want these two. Let these belong to another pair. And we continue the process this way. Okay, I isolate them, and now I group the materials we want to be shared. Look at these. I press M and assign a separate material. Now you might say that it's done here. It's fine if we are in material slate mode. Guys, we can create infinite slots here, but if I work from here, I assign my own scanline material. I won't assign the same one. I'll just delete it. I assign another scanline material, a different color. Okay, this one, and this one, and this one too. I delete one again, a new scanline. This one too, delete again. Actually, use the one we created because the first option, if I press delete, which we mentioned many times, only clears the slot, and the material remains on the scene. If you select the other option, it deletes both. Okay, that's what we wanted. This one too. Let me edit this one too. They got lost. I don't know which ones they are. I bring it and assign it to this one too. See? I assigned it, and it still shows black. So, what's the solution? A normal modifier, collapse all, and it becomes a single object again. We talked about these extensively in the modeling courses. Let me check these two to see if anything else is needed. Yes, everything else is excellent. These aren't visible anyway. If I put it in the overall view, look, the water is also a model here, because they brought the model. We just need to assign the water material there. We'll bring it along. If it looks bad, I will use Lumion's own effects. Let's also give these a material so they don't remain empty. If we need any flowers or anything else, we'll place them here. We'll import the doors separately. Let me check. Nothing else remains. Again, if there is any issue, it's not a problem. Any required edit can be easily done. Well, now that our editing is finished, we must repeat the same process. Guys, Control plus select the whole scene, check that you've selected everything. File, Export, Export selected. You don't need to overwrite the old file. I'll name it, say, 40, because we need to remodel and select the new file. Okay, done. I return to Lumion. and now I just need to go to the import model state. Select all of this, and from here I hold Alt. The re-import option becomes active. Now I hit OK and import file 40. Even if we had materials on the scene, I don't think they'll be lost. I'll test that too. As far as I remember, materials remain stable and are not harmed during a remodel. But as we said, we can save the material. If you've created a material and are sure it's correct, you can save it within the material settings before remodel, and load it back if you run into an issue. Not just individually, we can easily save all the scene materials, and then, under any circumstances, if our shape runs into material problems, we can load them back. Because if we hit load now, the new models we imported and the new changes we made will remain, and the materials we had been working on will all return to their place. No amount of praise is enough for the quality of Lumion and its professional and appealing tools. Because in the time I've dedicated to recording Lumion, the more details I learn, the more I realize that all the tasks we architects perform, whether in V-Ray or Corona, are also available in this program. Our model is now remodeled, and see, the issues are resolved. It's exactly what we wanted. Excellent. See, its materials were not damaged, and now my main scene is ready for me to perform material assignment, effect application, camera setup, single shots, and animation rendering. Our first task, as we said, is to save. I save the Lumion final C file here, and now we can comfortably start working on our project. We go to the material section and start our work. The first section was supposed to get a concrete, almost soil-like material. I go to the landscape section. Yes, we decided to give it soil. I choose one of these. Guys, I think we can assign this one. Yes, it's not bad. We can always change the landscape material later, depending on the camera angle. For now, this will stay. For this section, we must use a concrete material. I think it's under our stone section. Yes, I have concrete tile here. I said not to use it. Yes, I will fix its scale. If we want it to be wet, we need to increase the reflectivity. No, I don't want it too wet. I'll reduce the roughness a little. That's it. The rest of the settings are okay. I think we should give this section grass, as if the grass is emerging from between the stones. We can use these 3D grass textures. It sits well in place. I always try assigning them this way to see which one yields the best result. Yes, now I can play with its options, but don't give it too much thickness. See, it looks like this. Almost. Yes, let's raise the grass height a little. Yes, that's it. If needed, we can also scale it a little. The rotation is also fine. Let's check this side too. Excellent. I enable show fine detail. Okay, for this section we are going to use a boxwood material. It gives a feeling similar to our concrete, synthetic concrete-like materials. They are a type of boxwood panel, if you search for them. It's not just this style. I think we should use plaster. Exterior. Exactly like this. Let's assign one of these. I think the first one was better. Yes, it's almost similar to this. I make the scale small, stronger bump, more matte roughness, like this. Let's see if we can add grooves to it. We should use the stone materials, but not with this intensity. Since the new material is clean, I'll add a little. These grout lines make it look like we are adding AO ambient occlusion. Yes, look. If I increase it, close up. Yes, its presence is good. That's it. I can even copy it. Copy. For this section, a texture. The reference they sent me is almost a stone section. Where are our concrete materials? Here. Well, for the concrete, I want to use my own texture. I created the texture myself. It's from Nova Color Textures, which I photographed myself. I enhanced the quality via an image upscaler website. I played with the contrast a bit in Photoshop. I created the normal map like this, the displacement map, and the roughness as well. See, they can all be created in Photoshop. I hit Edit Copy, and now I can import it here. I just need to give it a new standard material here and load the maps one by one. Yes, that's it. The color we need to assign here is approximately brown. See, something roughly like this. The more you increase this, the more the texture blends with this color. It makes it matte like this. Okay, let this remain for now. I should also bring the normal map to the relief map. I assign the normal map. Yes, all the lines. If we want it to show a little, it will create lines, since we don't want lines. I also assign roughness, 100%, meaning 100% of the material's own roughness. If you lower this too much, it's like you're decreasing or increasing its value. That's that. You can save it. It's done very quickly and doesn't take as long as Max. I think we should use black stone. I think this one is suitable. You see how well Lumion's excellent archive supports us. If you see anything you don't like, find its texture and PBR maps, and set its properties using the new standard option yourself. Now you know we need rotation. I can adjust its twist to a certain way. This is good now. If it doesn't cause problems from the top, no, this is fine, because it's a ready-made material, and its settings are already okay. I press OK. Now guys, we should have separated the material for this part. See, this shouldn't have been the same as the others. Be careful to edit that. This is all the same. See, it was assigned. Let's see what remains. These. Let's assign another stone material to this. What do we have in the rock section? No, too much. These are for flooring, guys, but we can also use this one here, for example. I'll leave this one for now. I like it. We need to adjust its scale. Let's make it a little larger so it's easier. That's it. Now we can use these marbles for this section too. Guys, do you realize how fast the work is when we have a library? You can even find similar ones here. For example, you can later go to the textures and load a similar one. I think it's better if we use the same concrete. Yes, I think this is suitable. Now I can remove some of the whiteness. See, I'll make this white color gray. It shows here, gray. Now if I decrease this a bit, this happens. It's like the texture remained and mixed with this color. So, whenever you want to add a color to your texture, follow this exact tactic, this exact method, to get the best result. Now you can make the stone here a bit more matte. Let the bump be visible, whether it's low or high. See, it looks good. Let's move to the metals. We need to give it a nice black metal, like this. More matte, roughness, a little reflectivity, and even more metallic. So it looks more metallic. That's it. Smaller scale. Or glass. We want black glass for this too. Let me see if it's better to create one from scratch, or use the existing one. Look at this brown one. I'll change this brown to black. Our glass will also take on a black tint. I'll copy it from the bottom. I think we're done. Now I need to give grass soil to these sections. Landscape. The work is starting to take shape. Okay, I think this is fine here. Let's go for the top floor. I see this also conflicts with these. It's not a problem though. Worst case, we'll go back and edit it again. Let's fix these first. For this area, I am applying a dirt material, using the same material we used previously. I think for this section, it's better to use plaster. I like this texture, so we will use this one. Yes, it looks good. Okay, we'll apply water to this section too. Maybe it will be useful in a single-shot view. For the animation render, we need to apply our special effects. Let's play with its options a bit. I want to increase the surface foam. The wave function increases this because foam is created here. The planters essentially have their original material because we couldn't access their textures at all. That's why their base color remains. It seems we are performing a kind of design right now. This wasn't pre-selected. I mean, I'll keep it gray here. This is the texture I wanted. Okay, for this section, I'll use the same dirt again. Wait, no, I'll change the dirt for this area. I think this one is better. Yes, good. Let's manipulate their scale. How nice and excellent this is. I am truly enjoying working in Lumion. What did we want for this section? Let me check the reference. The reference we have is approximately this. We applied these materials correctly. Look at these. These were what we received. I'm deleting all of them. I want to place them inside Lumion because they make the file too heavy. We did well on this section too. We need to fill this area as well. We'll fix the door. I fixed this too. Let's see what else remains. Nothing. So there is no other material from above. Let me apply something myself. I'll take a copy of this and paste it here too. The material is good. Look, it became rusty. That's great. Excellent. Let's make a cool fabric for this as well. Before that, I'll give this a wood material. I think this one is good. Let me play with its scale a bit. Yes, it looks good. It's great how the UV reacts to the scale adjustment in Lumion. It's like we've linked it. Let me increase the reflectivity a bit. I think it's necessary. I also want to give it some dirt, the type. Aha! I press OK. See, these brought their own wood textures, but they are not good. Let me see if copying this works. This wood is very good, and it sits perfectly here. Excellent. I press OK with this scale. We'll give this one a metal material too. Yes, this one. Its scale is fine. Kids, we need to place a DIY decor item here. I go into Objects. Where is the Decorative Active section? No. Here we can even place a drink. For example, you might say these models are scarce, but they are not few. If you open this library, there are about 70 models inside. That's good. I'll place it in the middle like this. We can even rotate it a little. You can place anything you want based on your own taste. Okay, let's go make fabric for them. I go to the material section. I select this area and let's see our fabric. Can we find it internally or do we need to import it? This one is for rugs, this one is for curtains. Allegoric. Aha! It's fantastic! I can't praise Lumion enough. It is incredible. Look at its fabrics. How good they are. These all belong to Polygon. You know that Polygon is a top-tier company in this field. We can also apply leather. Let me check the other one too. No, we have to choose from these. I'll make the scale a little smaller. Good. Even smaller. That's it. We can even choose a fuzzy material. Let me adjust this. I increase the bump. Well, copy. This also turned out very good. Excellent. I'll keep this. More bump. Does it have displacement too? Yes. There isn't much need for displacement because the normal map pretty much handles this task. Okay. I press OK. Let's paste this onto these as well. Or for this. Yes, we paste this onto these. For these pillows, guys, I want to bring this material. What is its number? I paste it here. We extract it from the zip file. Yes, we need this tiling. That's it. This is the first diffuse. The second diffuse. Let me see if it has a bump. Yes, this is its bump. I assign this as its bump. So I take these two and bring them here. Get copy. Okay, we return to Lumion. I create a standard material. And guys, pay attention to the reflection and roughness of the fabric. You can even pick one of the allegoric materials by default, so it adopts the fabric properties. A similar one is approximately something like this. This scale is finer though. This didn't turn out bad either. Very good. Yes, now we have chosen. We can load it ourselves. I hit load. Ctrl+V. I load this for the diffuse. It's settled in place. You just need to adjust the scale and the bump the same way. Maybe we should make some changes to the bump. I put this on flip green channel. No, it didn't fix it. I flipped it in Y2, but it still didn't work out. I think we can go make the bump. Let's learn how to create bump and displacement in Photoshop and use it here. I mentioned in the very first session how to create concrete, for example. Here you can learn similarly. Just drop the diffuse map here like this. Using the simplest possible method, I hit Filter, then 3D, Generate Normal Map. Hit this and it creates the bump, or its normal map. or our relief, which we know as relief in Lumion, with bump. And this is how to create displacement, or the height map. I want to create both. First, I click on normal. You need to adjust the details here. If I increase the blur, the detail disappears. If I reduce the blur, the detail returns. I want it to have detail. This is the detail scale. The higher it is, the more those ridges are visible. I think this amount is better. Yes, I press OK. My normal map is ready, and I can save it as normal. I hit close. Let's go back to the diffuse. Let's create its displacement map once more. Now guys, Photoshop is suitable for creating the normal map, but displacement can be created in more specialized software, like Substance Designer, or even the simplest method we used last time, which is shader map software. You drop a diffuse map there, and it automatically creates the height map, and the result is shown in real time. You can easily learn that too. I'll teach it when the time comes. This is also ready. I exit, I hit apply, I click on the material, I hit relief and load, and I bring in the normal map. Aha! See, it didn't become black or corrupted like before. We can observe up close how well we managed to create our desired custom materials with separation in a matter of seconds. I'll make the scale a little finer, and now I increase this. This much is enough. I won't increase it further. Let me apply displacement too, and see if it makes a difference, because I usually don't apply displacement on fabric. Yes, it didn't make much of a difference. As I said, we can't do much with displacement on fabric in Photoshop. Now I'll add a little. Don't leave the roughness like this, or it will look like leather. Close it completely, meaning bring it here. Also, reduce the reflectivity a lot. That's it. Let me see if there are other options for creating fabric here. This is also done. I take a copy of it and paste it onto this one too. We can now change this color instead of yellow. How? A similar color. Let me set the color to orange, for example. Well, the more you reduce this, the more it leans towards orange. This much is enough. Excellent. This is the fabric for our cushions. Okay, let's go for this section. We decided to apply a water material here. Aha, let's apply a water material. That first one was very good. We want our stones to be visible this way. Wow, how good. Excellent. It is. You see its height? These are our stones. Only the stone material has an issue right now. Let's do this. I lower its height so they lock in place. Let's give them a decent material. If we select the stones, that is. So let's do this. I'll give this an invisible material. Okay. Well, look at the stones. A small part of them is sticking out. I was able to select it from here. I had kept that little part elevated. That white stone. Let's give it a reflective material. Finer with higher reflection and lower roughness. I can even delete this. I'll increase the roughness manually myself. The lower this is, the more transparent it is. Its relief is okay, its own. And the reflectivity is also this. Yes, it looks good. White. Excellent. Now I can just play with these options on the plane to achieve the results. Also, be careful to adjust the water height correctly. You don't want it to come up too high. Reduce it, and it comes down. That's all. This is done. For the material of this section, let's come from the new section and apply this. Here, moving, foamy water is good. Because it has foam now, it doesn't have reflectivity. I finalized this too. Let me see what I can apply for the floor. We'll give this section a metal material too. How good it is. See, it has a mesh. A special material for mesh. These are currently doors, so we don't want that. This one is new too. Raindrops on metal. You can definitely use it in rainy scenes. Be aware that if you use weather effects, take these seriously. I think this one is more suitable. Let's make the scale smaller, and here we can use the soften option. I go to settings, soften. It automatically applies a chamfer to these edges. If you see that your model doesn't have enough chamfer and is this sharp, that's very bad. We said we shouldn't have very sharp edges, so we can do this cool trick inside Lumion through the material settings. It turned out fantastic. I can also give it a little bit of dirt now. Dirt, yes, rust. I select the grass we created here. I copy it. The scale of this was messed up because I think yes, we changed this one. It was corrupted with these. We apply it to this section too. These are grass. No, that was a mistake. To these, aha, we have a problem here. These are not separate pieces. It seems like the bottom part is also counted as part of this. So let's stop here. I think this session is enough. In the next session, I will fix the issues of the project and we will continue with the rest of our work. I hope this session was useful for you too. Until the next sessions, goodbye.